Hey everyone, today we are going to be talking to you about how we went about securing a 10-year visa for Thailand. So definitely sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. We definitely want you to give a like and a follow because we're going to be talking about all about our adventures of, kind of what we've been doing to prepare to live long term in Thailand. So we think there's going to be a lot of amazing information for you. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm Dorisa.
And I'm Keelan.
And we are Key Destiny Unlimited Abroad.
Yeah, so we wanted to first talk about how we got started with this visa process. We have reached out to several different companies, but the one that we ended up going with was Siam Legal, which is a representative company of the Thai Privilege Visa Program in Thailand. So they actually represent the government. So the process began with an initial consultation. So we had emailed them a contact us information form, and then they responded pretty quickly, and they set up a 30-minute consultation for us within a day after we had initially contacted them.
Okay, so when it came to that 30-minute consultation, the big thing that the company went through with us was just kind of going over the Thai privilege program in general, because as you all know, there are several different types of visas that you can have to Thailand. And when they talked with us, they really confirmed that the Thai privilege visa was the one that made the most sense for us and fit with what we wanted for our family. And they talked about really the benefits of the program because the thing about the Thai privilege visa is that it's not just a visa. You become a part of an entire kind of community,
Right.
so to speak, where it's yes, you can go back and forth. It's unlimited entries and exits of the country, right? So yeah, that's a part of it. That's the visa part of it.
Yes, it's an actual membership, and so you get these special privileges as a member. That includes like they help you report your 90-day requirements, and they break down the schedule for you and make things a lot easier as a member.
And so that was really a big part of what that consultation was about, just helping to explain the program to us because it operates uniquely. And it's really what sets us apart from other types of visas that are available in Thailand. And it's one of the reasons why we just decided to go with the program, because it's not just about getting you into the country, but they make sure that while you're there, they're with you every step of the way to ensure that you're staying in compliance with everything you need, like those 90-day check-ins. Plus, they're trying to make sure you're having a good time while you're there, and so there's always different like meetings and overviews and webinars and that sort of stuff. And then you have the point system where the visa that we got came with 35 points a year, and so they talked to us about what those points were, how they could be used. So they really took their time in making sure we understood the privilege program, and they really answered every question that we had, because of course, since this is sort of a different type of program and it's more than a visa, like the visa is the big part, but it's kind of more than that. They really helped us really understand what we were getting into and why it was worth the cost. And so they had an entire presentation that they went through with us, and then they talked to us about the process. And so the next thing that we're going to talk to you about is what that process looked like, what some of the documents and everything that we needed to submit. So here we go.
Okay, so I want to start by explaining what the actual application process was like. There was several forms that we needed to complete. Is myself was the core member or the primary member for this visa, and then I was able to add on my dependents, including my spouse and our dependent children, to our application. So for uh, there's the first two forms are the the PDPA, which is the personal data uh, protection. So basically, that's a form that gives the Thai government permission to use your data for their investigation into your visa background check. And then there's the actual application. Each member has an application that they must complete. It's a pretty straightforward application, including basically your background information, where you currently live. Uh, it also asks about your employment status as they get ready to go into the review of your application. Supporting documents that are included with this, you include a copy of your passport page, and you must have at least three blank pages in your passport book in order to submit your application.
And it also, you need more than 1 year validity on your passport. So if your passport is going to expire within that year, you will need to renew your passport before you do the application. And they also want to make sure that they can see your signature page and that it was all spelled out for us.
And one thing I want to add about the signature on your application, the way you sign your signature on your passport is how you're going to sign it on your application. So uh, we had great response from Cyan Legal in reviewing our application. We had to make a couple of corrections to a couple of the uh, applications that we submitted to make sure that those signatures match. So they take their background check serious, make sure all of the documents are corresponding to each other during that process. So in addition to the passport, you're going to include a passport size photo on your application. And for your dependents, for your spouse, you need a copy of your marriage certificate and birth certificates for your dependent children.
And when we talk about dependent children, our children we had two of them were minors at the time, like two were 17, yeah, right? And then one was 18. So when we're talking about dependents, when we say the word dependent, that doesn't mean that they were minors. It's just that they were dependents, just like I was a dependent as a spouse. And then our three children were dependents, even though at the time of the application, one of our children was actually an adult.
Okay, so um,
Okay, so the next thing that we had to do was really look at the application itself, and so there were some specific qualifications that you had to certify, and so things like having a passport, but some other things that they want to make sure were the qualifications for the visa was that you can't have any arrest record. Definitely not in Thailand or any foreign government. So make sure you're obeying laws both in Thailand and in your own country. You cannot be somebody who's considered harmful or someone who might disturb the peace or security in the Kingdom of Thailand. So if you go to Thailand on vacation, make sure that you're still obeying the laws. Don't drink a little bit too much. Don't be a little bit too rowdy because they will keep, so if you've been pulled over by the police or if you've had interactions because you got a little bit too rowdy sometimes, that can interfere with your ability to get a long-term visa. So that's something to really think about. You had to have made sure that you haven't violated the law. So that's why it's important to make sure if you're there on a 30-day, like tourist visa, you leave in time, you don't overstay. Make sure that you're in compliance with everything you need to do because when you want a long-term visa, they're going to see have you been in compliance every time you've entered and left the kingdom. So you want to make sure that you're doing that because if you haven't done a check-in or if you stay too long on a tourist visa, if they've had to talk to you at immigration, it's probably going to negatively impact your ability to obtain a long-term visa.
Yeah, in Thailand, they're in the process of really checking their immigration policies right now. We just got notification this week of what the actual penalties are if you violate those check-ins or overstays. If you overstay a 30-day visa, uh, then you could be banned from the country for an entire year.
Right. So you want to make sure that you absolutely are in compliance as a tourist. If you're going to do your check to see if Thailand is right for you, you want to make sure that you're in compliance. And so we met all of the qualifications. We had never had any negative occurrences in our home country or any other country with any legal issues. And we've always made sure that we respected the Thai laws when we were there, and so we didn't have any concerns as we were going through the application. But we did want to let everybody know, like, this is what they're looking for, and this is why these things matter, and that's why when I'm doing videos, whether they're here on YouTube or on TikTok, I'm like letting people know, like, don't be playing with those border runs and all that other kind of stuff because that can come back to get you. And if you really want to be able to stay long term, those things can come back at you. So you want to make sure that you are abiding by the rules both in your home country and when you're in Thailand, because they do actually do those checks. Another thing that we're going to be talking about is kind of things like the background check as well as the member application process. So we're going to go into those right now.
Yeah, so now we want to go into, after we completed the application, what that next step was. And so working through Siam Legal, after they had validated all our applications, make sure all the information was correct based on their experience, uh, we I submitted our application for the entire family to Siam Legal, and then they forwarded it to the Thai government to begin the background investigation. Normally, on their website, they say that process takes about 4 to 6 weeks. For us, the process took approximately three about 3 to 4 weeks for us to get it complete. And so what happens during that background investigation? So they take your application, they have your passport information, and so it actually goes through several agencies within Thailand for them to review your background.
Yeah, so there's four offices that they let you know are going to be taking part in that background check. The background check is extensive, and they're because again, this is giving you permission to be in their country for the one that we did for the platinum one. It was 10 years. So for somebody saying like yes, you can be here for 10 years, they're going to make sure to do a thorough background check. So the offices that were involved in the background check were the Thailand Immigration Office, the Department of Consular Affairs, the Foreign Affairs Division of the Royal Thai Police, and the Central Investigation Bureau. So they do a very thorough, very significant background check. And every person on the application is going to have their background checked. So just because two of our kids were, kind of sort of minors at 17, about to turn 18, but still, they had to have their own separate background check. So everyone is checked thoroughly, and they let you know in advance these are the sort of things that will disqualify you. So just make sure that you can check all the boxes and you're good. And so we like Keelan said, the background check ended up going through smoothly for us, but we knew that we didn't have any violations. So you just want to make sure that you understand what is going to be looked at, what's going to be checked, and if there's any questions or concerns. That's why we made sure that we went through Sign Legal. We went through a certified organization so that we could know what the process was going to be. But they do make sure to do a thorough check.
And what happened after the background check was complete? So uh, the decision would be made whether or not you were approved for the visa or denied for that visa, or if they may have needed additional information based on that background. So we were approved, and once we were notified we were approved, we received a letter of approval through our email. And in that letter, it basically said you're approved for the visa, and then you have 30 days to make your visa payment.
And so we have a video. You guys can find a video on our channel that shows you how much we paid for the visa. We did pay 6 figures, but that covered all 5 members of our family for 10 years. So it turned out fine. But you do have to be ready to make that payment within 30 days of your approval. You will know how much it's going to cost. It's out there. It's very clear what the cost of the visa is if it gets approved. But that's kind of the good thing,
Right.
that
Yeah.
you don't pay until you get the approval. And so they tell you how you can make payment. And so you can pay by a credit card, bank transfer, QR code payment, and Alipay, Union Pay. But you want to make sure that you do have to do that payment within a certain window, and that window is 30 days.
Right. Because if you miss that window, then you have to start that process
You
all over
start
again.
over again. So don't miss the window. Okay, so what happens after you have successfully made your payment? So after you've successfully made your payment, once you get your approval, then the next step is what they call membership activation. And so part of that membership activation is that you're going to get a welcome letter and your ID number. So your ID number is your membership ID number within the Thai Privilege Program. So that's a number that you want to make sure that you know. It's really important. It's how you're going to do a lot of coordinating. And it's also, kind of needed because there is an app that is there just for Thai Privilege members. And there is a WhatsApp channel. And they also send you an email. Like, we pretty much get emails like every day with kind of information. Here's what's going on. Here's some things to know about. Here's some opportunities. But that membership number is important because that kind of is what ties all those things together for you so that you can get access to the various things. So we do that, and then the next thing they do, the important things for us was that contact member center email address, because that tends to be how we communicate with the membership office, so much so they also gave us that so we know how.
Yeah. Member services is uh, they, they have they will set up services for you. They will answer any questions that you have for you, and they're extremely responsive to their members. Every time we sent them a message, we've had a response within hours.
Absolutely. So that's been, kind of the best thing for us. But one of the things that I want to point out is that when they send you a welcome letter, and they also send you something in the mail, and what they send you in the mail is your Thai Visa privilege card. So it's going to come in a document folder like this, and then you'll be able to open the folder, and then inside it will have your um, it has your card that is in there, and it also has your requirements for members, and then it has, information about your point system that you're going to redeem. But you actually get a physical privilege card. It looks kind of like a credit card, but you keep that on you, and so that also has like your member number, and it has how long your membership is valid through, and all that sort of stuff. But it's a nice, fun thing that actually comes in the mail. Looks all fancy. So they actually send you the physical card, and then it comes to the getting your visa affixed, so the actual visa affixed. Because remember, this is just your privilege card. So that's the card that you can use while you're there. But then when it comes to the actual visa sticker, that's a different process.
Right. Yeah. So there's several ways you can get your visa affixed. One, you can go to the Thai embassy in your home country to get it affixed, or you can do what we did upon our next arrival into Bangkok. We went through and got it affixed through the immigration, but um, because we were Thai privileged members, uh, we were able to set up uh, before we got there uh, that we were arriving and we needed a visa fix. So they had the elite personal assistants meet us at the gate, walk us to immigration, and then we began the process of the interview once we got there um, for the visa fixation. And so that interview is basically your standard type of immigration interview. Um, because we're privileged members, they did want to know what our source of incomes were, um, doing that, and asking questions in general, uh, why we chose to stay in Thailand.
Yeah. And the thing that I do want to point out though is that with that immigration interview, it was just an interview. So, for instance, for the long-term residency visa and for the retirement visa, particularly the wealthy pensioner visa, those you have to have prove income. You have to prove what's in your bank account. So people on those visas actually have to like bring their account information and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't in the visa. So that wasn't in our immigration interview. They
Right.
ask, what is your source of income, how much is your annual income, but they did not ask for actual
Yeah,
bank
right.
statements and things like that. So that's something that's different with the Thai privilege visa that kind of sets it apart from what people experience when they're coming on the, LTR or the retirement visa.
Right. Where those other programs, you have to show documentation of your sources of income at each reporting period. So if you're there for 90 days, you may have to go and pull up your bank records and make sure that you still have the income coming in that you said you did when you first got there.
Absolutely. So, guys, that was the application process for the Thai privilege visa. And again, we have the platinum visa. So, our visa is good for 10 years. And we wanted to kind of walk you through the process that we went through in order to obtain that visa. We're going to do some more videos in the future, kind of with a little bit more information about the visa, particularly like the point system
Right.
and some of those things like the help that they give you along the way. But if you all have any questions,
Yeah, please feel free to put it in the comment section and let us know what you're interested in, or what you want to learn more about from our experience in getting a long-term visa in Thailand.
yeah, so definitely don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff because we don't hear a lot of people talking about this visa. We hear a lot of people talking about, how they would really like to stay in Thailand for long term or really wanted to be their new home, but we haven't really heard people talk about their experience with holding a visa for as long as 10 years and having that process. And we definitely haven't really seen a lot of videos on the Thai privilege visa itself, so we want to make sure to kind of share information with our experience with it. So definitely let us know if you have any particular questions. So until next time, I'm Dorisa,
And I'm Keelan.
and we're Key Destiny Unlimited abroad.
Bye.